roll call, Darlene. Here. Here.
Here.
Here. Here.
Here.
Here.
All right, we're all here. Before we get to the public comments, I think we have a special guest that's coming our way, so we'll cede the floor to Santa.
How you guys doing? Know some of you. We've met before. I think so.
Santa, thank you for showing up. What I'd like to do is announce the 2016 Holiday Lights Contest winners. So I'm going to call you out. Come on up to Santa. He's going to give you a sign. I'm going to give you an envelope, and we will move on. First one I have, and again, no particular order I have, Stefan and Stephanie Hartman on Reynosa Drive. Are we here? Well, come on up, hon.
Oh, here we go.
Here you go.
All right, you guys. Congratulations.
Okay, get the, turn around, get the picture. Come on, it's a Kodak moment. Does everybody even know what Kodak is?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for
All
somebody.
right. Perfect. Nice job, you guys.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Next, I have Sean and Christine Donnelly on Murieta South Parkway.
All right.
Wow.
One high for each member of the family. Yeah. Nice job. You guys.
Wow, look at that. Good
All
job.
right.
And-
Ready? Everyone say Merry Christmas.
And the last two winners were actually first-time winners, so now we're going into the multi-year winners. So first I have Tom and Bonnie Chuchuk on Trinidad. I swear I'll give this to them, okay? No, for reals, okay? No,
Let me hold it, I'll help
Oh,
you.
I got it. Got it. Next, I have Walt and Marie Donaski on Anillo.
Multi-year winner. Don't ask me.
Thank you. Good seeing you, Walter. Here you go. Also,
All right. Thank you for your service.
You got to sit in his lap, Walt.
There you go. Congratulations.
Walter, we have some food for you. You got it. So let me just take it back here. Thank you. Just for everybody's edification, Walter, known as the Train Man, when you would go by his house on Anillo, the only thing you'd ask is for a can. And so the association, even though he's not doing the train set anymore, we've committed to still getting them the canned food. And so he's obviously very, very appreciative. So thank you. Next, I have Chris and Kelly Akin on Brisa.
Risa Lane?
Again, I swear. Okay. Man, this is working out good. And I didn't put any lights up. Huh? Lisa and Byron Wise on Guadalupe.
No.
Santa, don't take it personal. I have Jeff and Brenda Alexander on Guadalupe. George,
Hannum.
say it again.
Hannum.
Hannum and Gina Macco on Villa del Cerrito.
Perfect, nice job.
Next, I have Brad Lisa Wise on Via Sereno. The Neff Zinger family on Rio Oso.
You got close. There you go. Congratulations. Picture. Yeah. Nice job.
Next, I have Mark and Janice Sutherland on Puerto.
Congratulations. Right, there you go. Running for a picture, here we go.
Tim, that was the gingerbread house.
Yeah.
All right.
Next, I have Chris and Maria Beckstagger on.
Yeah.
Boys, let's look excited.
Go ahead.
All right? All right?
Here we go, here we go.
It's too big now.
All right, congratulations.
Good job. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Next, I have Zachary and Christine Bowman on Boundary Court. Doug and Randy on, or Doug and Randy Ross on Topspin.
Yeah. All right, you guys, nice job. Hi, Merry Christmas. High five. High five. All right, nice job, you guys.
Look over there.
All right, we're going in, good. Outstanding.
Merry Christmas. Nice job. Next, I have Jim and Lisa Teague on Linksman Court.
All right. Perfect. There you go. All right, nice job. All right, you're welcome.
And next, I have Israel Mendoza on Murieta South Parkway. And those are our 2016 Holiday Light contestants. Yes, are the Hardman and Donnelly still here? Well, come on, get up here. We got another photo op. In front of Santa, let's go.
I'm everywhere. You can't get away from me. All right, so you're gonna get us all in?
Yeah.
We want to say Merry Christmas.
I noticed that. That's good planning.
All right.
All right. Great work.
Thank you, nicely done, folks.
All right, guys.
Santa, thank you.
Going back to the
Thank you,
flag.
Santa.
All right, thank you, Santa.
Not over to you.
Thank you.
Well, there's a reason. I usually doesn't hang around the naughty list a lot, okay, Santa? I hate to break it to you.
Well, is that the only reason? Well, damn, I thought we had some people here tonight.
No, and the cookies are gone too. I should have got them first.
Well, that cleared it out.
Yeah, they went right for the cookies. You took it from those kids? Cheryl, how can you do that this time of year? Mr. President, I would like to thank staff. They put a lot of time into it, so thank you on behalf of the 2016 Holiday Light.
How do you
Who were the,
how do you decide on how many get them?
I mean, I just wondered how you select.
It's, the
Everybody but me,
criteria is very,
apparently.
it's secretive almost. And you can ask Alex next year. A lot of it is, we only had 2 new winners. So there's a handful of them that, put hundreds of hours into it. And then there are others that look like Home Depot had an accident and they're just blown up everywhere. So a lot of it is off of what last year looked like. And then, because there's a couple of the houses that look fantastic
I mean, do they
for.
put an application in so you know to come and look at their house?
No,
or
we
what?
send out a notice and then we actually break the community into quadrants. And then we assign somebody and they drive it and then they identify those addresses. And then last night we physically then looked at all those houses. So I think there's probably about 20 some odd houses. Time is of the essence sometimes, so there's a few lawn jobs, it's by accident, of course, but just to save time cutting through. But just joking, okay, in case it gets reported.
Yeah, okay.
All right, let's move on to public comments. Public shall have the opportunity to directly address the board on any item of interest. Public comments on items not on the agenda and within the jurisdiction of the board are welcome, subject to reasonable time limitations for each speaker. If you wish to address the board at the time, please state your name and lot number and reserve your comments to no more than 3 minutes so that others may be allowed to speak. No action will be taken. Each item of business will be introduced by the president. Public comment for that item will be open. The public will have the opportunity to speak on that item. Public comment for that item will then be closed, and no additional public comment will be allowed. At that time, the board will discuss the item and then take action. Do we have anybody that wishes to make a public comment at this time? I'm seeing such a large audience. I think not. Okay, we'll close public comments and move to the consent calendar. Consent calendar items are considered routine and will be approved by one motion. There will be no discussion of the items unless the director requests a specific item to be removed. Does anybody wish an item to be removed? Do we have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Time got ahead of us.
I'll move that we approve the consent calendar.
Have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion to approve the consent calendar, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. The next item of business is the approval of the minutes for November 15th, 2016 meeting.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes for the November 15th, 2016 meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Next up is the president's report. Prior to today's meeting, we held an organizational meeting at 4:30 this afternoon. At that meeting, we elected officers and committee chairs for the coming year. Officers, I was appointed or nominated and elected president. Larry Shelton was elected vice president. Cheryl McElhaney, treasurer, and Tim Mabey, secretary. Chairs were also appointed. Sam Summers was appointed or reappointed to the Architectural Review Committee. By virtue of being treasurer, Cheryl McElhaney is the chair of the Finance Committee. Cheryl's also been appointed the chair of the Communications Committee. Tim Mabey is reappointed as chair of the Compliance Committee. I was reappointed as chair of the Governing Documents Committee. Larry was reappointed as chair of the Maintenance Committee. And Cheryl was reappointed to the Parks Committee, and then Rob Brown was appointed to the Parks Committee with Alex Bauer as the alternate. Alex was then appointed also to the Recreation Committee. And then Tim and I were appointed to the Joint Security Committee meeting, and I was appointed to the Personnel Committee. And we also approved extending the existing committees until such time as new committees are formed and approved by the board. We also met in executive session prior to this meeting. At that executive session, we discussed legal invoices, some legal issues, and contracts that we'll discuss in open session. That's the end of my report. General managers.
First I'm going to have is the Greens Park. In 2009, the plans for the Greens Parks were developed and put out to bid.
Feedback.
The quotes came back in the mid $600,000 range. Due to the high costs and other factors, the project was put on hold. In 2016, the Parks Committee reduced the scope of work and asked the project again to be put out to bid. The new quotes came back in at $536,000. At this time, staff recommended that the RMA be allowed to act as a general contractor for the project. The Board and the Parks Committee approved this concept. The grading and underground work will be completed by the RMA maintenance. The landscaping, concrete, and asphalt work will be put out to bid. The board directed management to proceed with bidding the project with the goal of keeping the project under $400,000. The bids have been received, and the project cost is $325,858. Staff is recommending a 10% contingency for not to exceed amount of $358,443 for the project. In addition, the trees were bid separately with funding to come from the Tree Mitigation Fund. The cost to mitigate the trees on the entire 3-acre site is $29,550. The recommendation is to approve a not to exceed amount of $358,443 for the Greens Park, funding to be $174,000 from the Parks Fund, with the balance of the $184,443 being advanced by RMA in return for park credits. And also the trees be paid from the Tree Mitigation Fund in the amount of $29,650. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, just a couple, Greg. The 174, then that basically will take the parks account almost to zero. I think I have 114.
Yes, it will
Okay.
take it down to.
And then, I know I asked you in executive session, you still feel comfortable that this is a project we can get going in the spring?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
The money from the Parks Fund, do we have to go back to the Parks Committee and get final approval on that?
Yeah, if you guys approve this recommendation, then the 2 park committees members will take that recommendation to the Parks Committee, and they'll vote to approve or disapprove it.
All right, any other questions? Do we have a motion to,
I'd like to make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
okay, any further discussions?
No, sir.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion to approve the Greens Park in an amount not to exceed $358,443, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Passes unanimously.
And that's the end of my report.
You need a motion for the trees? No, that was just for the 358?
I think it included everything, I just sort of,
I don't think that 358 covers the trees.
Go ahead and make a motion. We'll make it.
okay, yeah, go ahead and make a motion. Oh,
If I had to do it upright, I don't think that,
No, the trees
Correct.
were separate. He was putting it all as one motion on the Greens Park, including.
he
No.
said.
Oh, the trees to be paid from the Tree Mitigation Fund?
Yeah, we would need to approve $29,650 from the Tree Mitigation Fund for the trees.
Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and do a motion on that. So,
I move that we pay for the trees out of the Tree Mitigation Fund in the amount of $29,650.
I'll second that.
any other discussion?
I would vote no on it, so.
I don't blame you.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? It passes unanimously. Okay, committee reports. First up is finance, since Martin's no longer with us, and Cheryl has studied it extensively, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of questions here, Cheryl. Should I just start with you, or how do you?
Colleen, the first thing is I have.
Is Colleen gonna give the report, or Greg, or are you gonna?
There was no finance committee meeting in December.
Well, that makes it easy.
Cheryl, you don't hold meetings? Wow.
There's a indication, at least on the agenda, to write a motion to write off bad debt. Do we need to do that, or? So,
Thank you. This is just a normal administrative task we handle at each year end. All debts that have been, we've exhausted all efforts to collect them, we write them off, and we have a fund established for that. So this is just a request to write these accounts off as uncollectible.
We don't need a motion?
no, we
I
do
need a motion, a second, and then approval. Yeah, it has to be a board action.
So, the funds that you have available will cover this?
Yes.
So, my motion is to, write off bad debts in the amount of $15,528.51.
Have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes unanimously.
So
Any other items we need to worry about?
I just have a question about that. So how do we get the money from the bad debt? Is that,
So we budget each year an amount, like for 2017, we budgeted $20,000 that we're going to put into that accumulation for bad debt. And then as bad debts occur, we write them off against that accumulated liability.
okay.
Architectural Review Committee.
I just have one other question. So that 15,000 in bad, is that, I don't say is that good, but that's below what our expectation was?
It's well below like 0.5% of our net revenue, so, or I'm sorry, gross revenues. So yeah, anything typically under 3% is considered good. So coming in under 1% is, something to celebrate.
All right, Architectural Review Committee. Sam.
The Architectural Review Committee met on November the 17th. We had the usual driveway parking variances, approval of minutes, and common area lease. So it was pretty fast meeting for once. And I have 2 common area leases that I will make motions to approve. In one motion, my motion is to approve the common area lease for lot 1010 on Via Sereno and lot 1446 on Rio Circle. These are both change of ownership, and all the fees required have been paid through escrow.
I so motion.
That's a motion to approve those
Yes.
2 common area leases.
I'll second it.
Okay, so I have a motion and second to approve the common area leases for lot 1010 and lot 1446. Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Matter-
That's the end of my report,
All right.
Mr. President.
Thank you, Sam. The next committee is Communications Committee. I'll take that as the past chair. We didn't meet. Pretty simple. Greenfield, I think, are we here? Do you have any report, Brent?
Well, for those who don't know, I'm Brandon with Greenfield Communications. And what we have to report this month is between now and our previous meeting that we just had, we've actually been able to set all of our beds, fill all the holes in Node 3, which would consist of Lower Guadalupe, Torino, and Neo area. Also Node 6, which is at the very top, and you're looking at Orilla, Lago Circle, and that area. So Node 6 and Node 3 are now complete. Like I said, everything's been set. We posted yesterday, possibly the day before, Facebook, ranchomurieta.com, that we will be shutting off Node 5 January 3rd. That would be, let's see here, Via Sereno and Domingo. So there's, I think, 8 customers left on that area, and they've scheduled to have their installs before the end of the year. So we've actually already started closing up locations in Node 5, and we'll be powering it down. Node 1, which is this Puerto Fuente de Paz, Trinidad, Camino del Sol, that's slated to be shut off on January 30th. So we've let our customers in that area know as well. They have till January 30th to get on the legacy system, or sorry, off of the legacy system and onto the fiber. I believe we have 77 customers that are still on the legacy system in that area. So every week we're filling in 25 to 40 locations roughly. And as we're shutting areas down, that's what we're focused on. So like I said, Node 5, which is going to be here in Villa Sereno, Camino de Luna, Villa Cerrito, and Domingo, that should be filled in by our next meeting, and a good portion of Puerto. We have less than 300 customers on the legacy system. We're installing 40 to 50 per week, so before the end of February, we're hoping to have everybody switched over to 100% fiber, and at that point.
Are you having anybody giving you resistance to getting off the legacy?
It's not necessarily like actual resistance. It's a lot of trying to meet their schedules. And there's 3 people on Domingo we haven't been able to get a hold of. But we actually had this issue last year in De La Cruz, where a lot of people were just gone during the holidays, and that's actually when we're shutting it down. So it's not actually a problem. When they do get home, we'll be right there to turn the mic on. So that's our only concern. But our main goal right now is just, like I said, to fill it all in, put it all back together, and we're actually going quite fast. And then it's down here, which is Node 2. It's this area. We have 82 customers still on the legacy system, and like I said, Node 1, 77 customers, and our bulk of them are actually Node 4, which is kind of Rio Blanco, Rio Oso, and that area. But by the end of February, so in the next 60 days, roughly, everybody should be switched over. It may even trickle into March, but again, that just has to do with our just getting people coordinating with their schedule so that they can be home and whatnot to do the installations. But other than that, everybody's ready to go. All they have to do is just make the phone call, to Greenfield Communications. So
you planning to party?
what was that?
You planning for a party
Planning
on
a
March
party.
1st?
Oh yeah.
It's at the last person's house, so just, don't be the last person.
Yeah, we're gonna cut the cable above ground.
Exactly. Oh yeah, we look forward to shutting down nodes. We have a little, I think Wayne over here can't sleep at night, just waiting for 8 o'clock to come and power it down. So it's a long time coming, but like I said, we're putting it together, and actually we're working a lot around the lake right now in some of the older original homes, and it's proven to be a little bit tough to get that cable all the way up to the side of the house, but we're getting it done. So
I hate to say, no news. They say, I guess no news is good news, and nobody's called me in the last month complaining. So I guess that's good news.
Well,
good news for me that nobody's called me.
The thing is too, though, is that we're starting to order all flush mount PEDs, and so a lot of people that actually have PEDs that are standing up in their yards, if we're able to move them around, a lot of them we're going through and pulling those out and putting more flush mounts in. And so some people had large, even dog houses in the front yard that we're able to do away with. And so it's, like I said, it's I don't know. I'm just happy. It's been a long time coming, and so we're.
Are you going to go back to the older pads and put flush mount in?
Yes and no. And so what it is that a lot of locations, there's roots, rocks, other utilities, including water, that are so shallow that we can't do an actual completely submerged location. And those ones we're putting, of course, stand-up ones, but we're not purchasing any more stand-up ones. So a lot of people who have them, if we need them, we're going to go to their yard. I know right here in Node 3, we pulled 6 of them last week, and then just today on Agua Vista, we pulled 2 of them, and stand-up ones, and put flush mounts in there. So a lot of people are
you
coming
answered
home
my
to-
question about the trees. There's too many trees for me to ever get flush mount.
Yeah. Well, the trees, and the thing is really small roots we can contend with, but once it gets larger, then we just don't. There's a cord of wood under some of those lawns. So.
Are you able to hook up new customers, or are you just focusing on the existing legacy
we're
customers?
absolutely able to hook up new customers all the time, and it's our main focus right now is pulling drops to everyone who is already a customer, but our map shows a certain color address if they are on the current legacy system, because that's our focus, and a different color if they're non-customer, and at least 3 to 4 every week. I'm going to their houses and pulling cables, and they're not, actually customer. Most of them are just getting on the internet side. Not too many video customers, but most of the people who have AT&T, they're a DirecTV customer currently, and of course it's NFL season, so it's
Yeah,
most of them.
not for that Sunday ticket.
Yeah, it's exactly right. So that's kind of a seasonal thing that people don't like to cancel. But other than that, yeah.
All right, any other questions? Sounds good, Brandon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now that's the end of the Communications Committee report. Compliance Committee.
We met December 5th. We had a couple of appeals by letter, but you have in your report, you can see we have a couple of, I think, high consent to sign fines that have gotten not necessarily complicated, but again, it will stack onto the residents. If you flip to the back where the summary report, where we have the RMA CSD issued violations, number one issue in the community, and I can't stress 1 and 2 enough, and that's the stop signs and speeding. And I know that the new CSD security chief has some thoughts on that, and I know there's a meeting set for the first of the year. The next 2 that follow are driveway parking, and I just implore people to, if you meet the intent of the variance, to apply for that. And then the 4th one is property maintenance, and that's everything from weed abatement to making sure the paint is correct, and just those types of things. So that concludes the end of my compliance report, Mr. President.
Just a quick question. I know there was a $300 fine for use of streets. What's use of streets? What's that mean?
Illegal vehicle. So, and that can be anything from an off-road motorcycle to an actual motorcycle type of thing.
So is that a first offense, or is this a multiple offense?
It's a multiple offense.
4th one,
Yep.
All right, anything else? All right, thanks, Tim. Next up would be governing documents, and we didn't meet this month, so maintenance.
Maintenance did not meet last month either. However, we do have an issue that we would need approval on, and that's we moved the lawnmower, the turf mower, from a monthly lease program, which was approved for the 2017 budget. We've gone out on bid now, and Rod has secured a bid to the point where we can get it within the contingency fund that he has available for this, and so he's recommending that we actually purchase the lawnmower, and I'll let Rod add to that.
Yeah, not a whole lot to add, other than, as Larry alluded to, we had planned on leasing this piece of equipment throughout 2017, and instead have opted to try to purchase it out of the 2016 budget, eliminating that monthly lease next year, and also in doing so, we'll see about $6,000 savings eliminating the lease and going for purchase.
So this isn't a bait and switch that you're doing on us, Rod?
No.
Okay, just checking. I'm pretty sharp at that stuff.
The mower is a real mower. All the other mowers that we have right now are rotaries. We are diligently trying to go through most all of our turf areas, particularly the sports fields, and replacing the blue ride turfs that we have with the Bermuda grass for a lot of different reasons, primarily water conservation, but also the ability for Bermuda grass to repair itself because of the extensive amount of use that we get on those fields.
Rod, how many years do you think that we get out of a machine like that?
You know, right now I'm gonna throw an educated guess out there, but I would say that it's gonna have at least a 6 to 8 year replacement life on that mower.
Okay, Rod has requested that the board approve to purchase the Toro Reelmaster 3100D for a cost of $37,301.92.
Get your motion?
That's your motion?
It's a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the purchase of the mower. Any further questions or comments on that? My only comment, you said about 6 to 8 years, is that what's reserved for it, or is that just what you think you can get out of it?
This is a new asset, so it currently is not in reserve,
Reserves.
so
Yeah.
great question, because, I think that's probably a pretty good guess, in regards to the 6 to 8 years. And we certainly try to extend those when we can. And I have, this is certainly a quality commercial grade mower, so, hopefully we'll be 8 instead of 6.
And then what happens to the, I think I know the answer to this, but what happens to the savings we have from 2017, since we won't be leasing it, and now that just goes in the budget for discretionary president's fund now?
Here's
Is
that bait and switch. Here it comes. Wait for it. Wait for it.
It's the president's Hawaii vacation
Exactly.
refund, right?
The official answer is that it'll help you come under budget.
Next year.
It's budgeted for $695 a month, so it's not a huge savings for the year, but over the life of the lease, it will save you that $6,000.
All right. All right, anything else?
No, it's bait and switch.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Did you read this?
Passes unanimous.
I have, one
Despite
comment.
the vetching of Mr.
Yeah,
Miller.
no, it's on maintenance, and I forgot to bring it up a couple months ago. Rod, to you and your crew, the asphalt stuff, thank you. I've made my way through most of the community, and the tie-ins look good, and so I forgot to mention that a couple months ago, so thank you.
All right.
The gazebo over here looks really great, doesn't it?
Well, the lights, but that's a whole different issue.
I was thinking of the driveway.
Oh, yeah, well, and that's part of the overlay stuff, that just all the way through, and some of the concrete work, I forgot to mention it, like I said, a couple months ago, my bad.
I think you had to do some negotiating with the contractor, didn't you, to make that look that way?
We had to turn a good thing into a bad. Yeah, we certainly did have a couple of hiccups with the concrete portion, but at the end of the day, once we had it tore out twice and put back in place, I think we ended up with a good process.
No, thank you.
All right. Anything else, Larry? Is that it?
That's it.
All right, parks, no meeting, it looks like.
Anything about that?
Recreation, anything besides Santa and his lights?
No, of course, it's not all fun and games in rec. So I do have a report. Well, actually, one of us has a report.
If anybody needs a quick Christmas gift at the last minute, we can help you with that. We are having 2 Giants games. The first one is on Sunday, June 25th of next year, and it's the Giants versus the New York Mets. And then the second one we have is on August 9th, and it's the Giants versus the Chicago Cubs. And if anybody wants to buy some for a loved one, we will wrap it for you to place under the tree.
And we've already sold a couple of tickets. And again, these are bus trips from Marietta down to, for some, it's round trip, for others, it's one way. So it
Dodger
depends.
fans have to walk. I know.
Well,
Oh,
you
yes.
notice we didn't say Dodgers, Mr. President.
And the cost is $79 per ticket.
We have to
Tickets are
rethink
in what
this.
section approximately, like where they go usually? I've never gone.
Have you heard of SRO? Standing room only? They're a great deal, I swear.
I can look and see specifically what they are. I don't remember offhand. Do you remember?
No.
The real answer? Oh,
Please,
okay.
you're asking me a
Are
technical
there
question.
a certain amount of tickets for sale, or just
Yes,
all the
only
bus?
50 per
Up to
game.
the bus,
And I,
Pardon?
Are there a certain number that we're selling, or just as long as there's bus space for it? you can
Well, we
buy a
have
ticket?
50 tickets per game.
Yeah.
And it does sell out. I will tell you,
does.
we have a waiting list for these trips.
and it's a night game?
The one on
Yeah.
June 25th is at 1 o'clock, and the one on Wednesday, August 9th is at 12:45. So they did.
So both the games,
And that concludes Tim's report.
yeah. Okay, there's some correspondence I invite you to look at in the board packet. Other than that, then I think that concludes our meeting. Our next meeting will be January 17th, 2017, at 6:30 PM here in the RMA building, and we are adjourned.